Hello everyone, how are things going? Today I would like to bring to you another process video of me painting an idea that I have in my head. And yeah, it's a sunny day and it's very chill right now in my place. So yeah, I would like to have this video as something that is like for you to open while you are working, while you are drawing, while you're painting, and just see me as a companion who's also studying, who's also working on her own project. About the idea of this painting, I have this from reading a novel called Mary Reilly, and also I watched the movie, I think it's from the 90s, and yeah, it wasn't exactly the best adaptation of that book, but at the same time, it brought to me many ideas on what I want to draw about this character, the main character, Mary. It's going to be a bit sensitive because I imagine her being in the room of the master alone and looking at herself in the mirror, completely naked, and I don't know if this is going to like how to say, like restrict the video a bit because it has like nude element to it, but after all this about art, and there are topics that you cannot avoid, like human's body, like the naked beauty of the body, right? So yeah, still I really love the idea and I really want to share with you in this video. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so I will start out with drawing the frame of the painting as usual. As I have said in other video, I'm not really exactly great with composition, and I usually draw things out of control and make them look really bad because of I cannot control the composition. So I always start with framing things and try my best to fix the composition so that it works perfectly to how I really envision things. So yeah, I start with the frame, and then I will start drawing the main character, finding the best position for her to stand. I think about the theme of this painting, I would like it to have this kind of cold feeling, like the whole room is going to be really cold and kind of ash-like kind of color, and it will contrast against the main character, which is like flesh color, and she will glow like a kind of reddish glow in the dark, in the dim light. Yeah, I like it to be something like that as well. I haven't planned on exactly the kind of style I like to go with, but I think loose watercolor would be a nice idea because when it comes to watercolor, it has always been very difficult for me to choose, and actually my skill is not enough to draw very detailed watercolor painting, and to be honest, yeah, so I cannot really just do very detailed painting. Loose watercolor has always suited me more, not just because the skill set, but also because it kind of reflects my mentality more. I like to rush into ideas and I like to create them with the fastest pace possible, and loose watercolor, even though like if you want to master it to a very high skill level, it takes years, and I believe that it wouldn't be like alike to how I will present to you in here in this video. But at the same time, it's going to be a very fun process, as I believe. So yeah, let's start with sketching the character. I will go with her first because like her height and composition, like her position will decide on everything else, because she's the main focus point of this whole painting. I think like another thing about this idea that I decide that her body is going to be naked is because of the feeling that the character feels in this story, felt in this story. She kind of like, she felt revealed in the whole story after she met and talked to the doctor. And so there is this kind of fear within herself, and at the same time something seemed to blossom, something seemed to be realized and is expressed through this nakedness. Like it's just everything is exposed almost about herself, and she cannot stop that feeling. And it's like a fever dream, like it's not exactly real in any sense. Like this scene is not real. It's more like a thought in her head. It's more like a dream that she had. I don't exactly remember this scene anymore in the book, but I think that I did read something along the line, something like that. And it interested me so much so that I have always had this idea in my head to draw, to paint this picture out of my head. And so to draw this painting, I actually searched for two different type of reference. First is the room, the doctor from the movie. I think the movie did great about the atmosphere. The plot line is not good. The plot line is completely out the window. But the atmosphere and sometimes the acting, sometimes the expression of the character, kind of interesting. And I take the room for the doctor from the movie, the scenery, the feeling, the color, the composition, and then together I create this how Mary look through another painting, and it's a nude painting of a woman. I'm not really sure. I will check the source again whether who the artist is, but I believe it's a very old painting from maybe like 18th century, 19th century. And yeah, it's not really a nude photo of a woman, but more likely it's a nude painting, and it's very beautiful in the form, very close to the old time as well, to the time that we are drawing about. And yeah, this is an opportunity for me to learn about how to paint the body as well. So the next one that I'm going to sketch out is the mirror. The mirror is also gonna decide the composition of this painting, because it's the next thing that like pretty much the same height with the main character, and pretty much gonna reflect her facial expression just as much as her body. Okay, so I want it to be, so this mirror doesn't exactly exist in the original composition of the room from the movie, but instead I added it in, like I had it in my mind. So I just searched for another reference of a 19th century standing mirror, and it's pretty okay. It's pretty okay to my kind of idea. I didn't make it like, I don't want to make it golden, like different from the wooden version of most of those mirror back then. It's either, I think like they put in gold, or like a thin layer of gold or copper, so it looks golden, or it looks kind of wooden, completely brown, and I chose a golden version of it. Okay, so I'll briefly sketch the head of the character and her feature in the mirror. I think with this idea, I'm pretty much like it's like a mood as well. Like reading this whole book is like a mood for me, because it's not just a gothic horror story, but it's also it feels dark and grim like those stories you read on those rainy days, those stormy days, and you feel completely isolated with the world. Like this whole story is like the thought of the main character living inside these big mansions ran by a man who she is both fascinated by and at the same time afraid of, because he is her master. But it's not exactly a normal kind of like romantic kind of story or scenario. It's instead, yeah, as I said, it's a gothic horror story. It didn't end well. And if you know about the story of, if I remember right, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story, because I always mistake their names altogether, and sorry if I say the wrong name, but yeah, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story, then you will know that it didn't end well, and the whole story about the main character Mary's feeling for the doctor is pretty much a very sad story, because she thought she found a place that she could confide her well-being in, and then in the end she lost everything. Spoiler alert. But yeah, this whole story, the whole mood of it makes you feel pretty much like it didn't make me cry back then when I read it the first time. I had this sense of I could relate to this character somehow, because the way that she wrote things, how she wrote down her emotions, how she observed things in silence, and how she cared about other people pretty quietly. But yeah, so, and her age as well, she was pretty young in this story. I think around the 20s or like 18. And yeah, I read this story like around when I was 20, in my 20s, and it did really give me a very strong expression. Okay, so I think that's the painting is pretty much formed now. I just need to draw in the windows and window sills as well. So I haven't really decided on the main color yet. I think it's going to be turquoise, and it's more to the bluish side than the greenish side. Does that make sense? Because I want it to be cold, to be ash-like kind of color, so I will add a bit more like black. Though the first layer I'm planning to use umber, because umber has a bit greenish, but it's rusty kind of green, and I want to bring in that feeling, that old feeling, to this painting through umber color. I think most of my work so far looks pretty much more like sketches. They don't go into too much details, and they usually have an overall kind of impression. They create an overall impressions rather than really give you a detailed look into the matter. Does this annoy you anyhow? But anyway, I do want to draw like and paint very detailed works, but I still haven't got enough skills and energy to ever really be serious about one single painting. Like I see people paint and draw works that could take like weeks, months, and I'm very jealous, because I don't know, I'm just not that patient. I'm not that patient, and I must say, yeah, it's my fault. It's my fault completely. I need to learn to be patient, and I need to learn to go into more in depth in the matter at hand. You know, like I need to see colors, see the composition. I need to fix them more often. Oh, and in here, I'm not really sure. Should I let her hair down? I think no. I think I want her to have this very kind of 19th century look to her by having her hair, like tied up. Okay, so yeah, I will keep her hair this way. A bit more to the face. Possibly just a brief sketch of how she looked like. Like, I don't want people to see clearly how she looks like. Instead, I just want to have a brief glimpse of her face, of her expression. More important is her body and how she looks pretty much like really cold, really exposed. Okay, so I think that's it for the sketch. Now I will start painting. As you can see on the left of my screen is the original painting, the reference that I used for this painting. Okay, so I need to fix a bit more here and there, and I need to draw the face more detailedly. Then I will start painting. Sue is here with us today as well. Sue is my little kitty. She is just very mischievous and always very curious about everything that I do. She likes to stay with me all the time, like very attached. And I love her. I just really love her. We like companions for a long while now. Well, actually not a long while. I had her since the beginning of this year, so it's not exactly long, but like around 6 months. And I'm happy to have her by my side. Okay, so this is the mirror that I use as reference. I will add in a bit of detail for the mirror. After this, I think I'm going to paint. I'm going to start the painting. Yeah. I will prepare some water and then some brushes and paint. It's a bit tedious that there are so many details sometimes. Definitely my painting doesn't have that many details to it. And usually I focus on the feeling and the emotions that the whole scenery, the whole scene kind of brings out to the viewer. So yeah, that's why I think like the style really matters. Loose watercolor possibly because of that suit my way of thinking and my way of feeling toward painting even more. Okay, I think it's kind of almost there. A bit more for the bed. If you can realize it's actually a bed. Yeah, from this angle it's a bit hard to see, and to be honest, I'm still pretty bad about perspective. So yeah, Sue, she just sneakily like stay behind the board, see if I put anything on the table, and then she will reach out from below the board to take them. What is it, Sue? Sue. Oh, she's just scratchy again. I think it's nearly the time for her to take another bath. Just in case there's some kind of bugs on her body or anything. Like, I have decided to take care of her just inside the house. I think like sometimes I will like let her have a walk outside, but of course with me by her side, of course. So supervision. Is that how you call it? Okay, so I start with this brush, and yeah, these are going to be the colors that I'm going to use. Obviously there will be turquoise, turquoise, then umber, and dark brown, and then some black as well, lamp black from White Knight set. This is my palette. Okay, I'm going to prepare some water as well, and then we can start. I think during this process I'm going to be pretty focused, so I will not be able to talk more as casually as I could, as much as the beginning of the video. So I think what I will do is to stop talking here, and I'll see you in the end of the video where I finish everything and talk about how I feel toward what I have done. Okay? See ya! Okay, so this is the first time that this painting is pretty much done to me, and we will wait for a few minutes till it's kind of a bit drier to see the effect clearer, because when it's still wet some color might be thicker and seems heavier than how it's gonna be like after a few minutes when it's kind of dry. Let's see. Okay, so after a few minutes, like 10-15 minutes, I decided to add a bit more black and add more shadow and darkness to the painting, because I think it's still too light compared to what I have in my mind. In some part it's kind of a bit mixed into one another, which I don't like. I want them to have clear shapes. Okay, so first the hair, and then a bit on the body as well. Just a little bit, because I don't want to ruin the form. And then some shadow to the mirror behind her back. The feeling of the space behind her back, I want it to be darker. And it's still fading, so it's like mirror effect. Yeah. A bit to her hair, and maybe to her face as well. Yeah. I will add more shadows to her face, and to have her chest part kind of clearer. I'm sorry for the sound from upstairs. People are fixing something up there, and I'm not pretty sure that what they are doing anymore, but yeah, it's pretty loud. Okay, I think I overdid it a bit, especially the part about the mouth. Okay, I will add in some water to soften it out. Oh no, it's not really working, isn't it? But okay, overall it's kind of like what I expected somewhat. Okay, a bit more the arm and the hand. Possibly, yeah, the arm. A bit more. And the chest part too. Looks pretty nice actually. Looks pretty nice. Nicer than I expected. So far I pretty love the effect of the lighting in this picture, and everything looks soft and grayish as much as I have hoped for, because you know the city is cold. As I remember, the story happened in London and it's in the cold season. Everything is foggy because it's near the sea, and everything feel very like wet and cold at the same time. So yeah. More shadow to the bed so that it looks clearer in shape. I love the fact that the view for on like behind the window is like kind of blurry and ash like looking, so the foggy effect is even clearer. More shadow to the bed, to the bed sheet. Okay, I think it's pretty done here. Maybe a bit more shadow to the curtain, because there's never enough shadow. Yeah, it looks better when it's darker like this. And I want it to be separated about shapes and form. A bit to this side as well, so that it's distinguished from her hair and her body. Yeah, it looks way nicer now. at least to me. Yeah, much better. And a little bit more to the other one. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like it better this way. How do you think? Please let me know down below in the comment. Let me know how else I can improve this painting. I think there's a lot of things that I can improve, like just like the shape of everything. The lighting is still a bit too bright, and still there's something about it that I really like. So this is the result, the final result of the painting. I think so far I really loved the coloring and the, as I say, foggy and ashy effect of the whole painting. The cold feeling of the room just as much as this go against the skin color of the main character, which is also very pale and has a bit of blue on her skin as well. Overall, I'm really satisfied with this painting, and I'm happy that I have been through this process. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.